Duncan, who's running for the Aurora School Board, and then Ruben Medina, who's running for Ward 3, which we are a huge chunk of. So I don't know if there's anybody that you all haven't met here, but so if you'd like to, Tramaine, if you would start and just say, hello, and anybody you haven't met, say hi. Has everybody met? Oh, you have now, but.
Yeah, so like Ms. Mandy said, I'm Tramaine Duncan. I'm a candidate for the Aurora School Board race. I graduated from Oakland High School. I attended school, graduate school at the University of Northern Colorado, where I got my degree in education. I'm certified to teach social studies and math. I currently teach 8th grade, not even 8th grade, middle school math intervention in the 6th grade class at DMLK. A few reasons why I want to run for the school board is, for one, to ensure that we're focusing on the whole child, ensuring that we're providing the same resources that kids are getting at school, outside in community, ensure that we're doing what we can to provide emotional and mental health support for our students and family and community members. I also want to ensure that we are doing what we can to hire, retain, and recruit teachers of color. I know it's a pretty taboo topic and tough conversation to get into, but it's important that our kids start to see teachers that resemble them and curriculum that relates to things that they're going through in life. And lastly, just amplify community voice. I don't feel like there's been enough reaching out that APS has done, although they've done a good job, but I still feel like there's a lot of sections within Aurora that haven't been tapped into. And I feel like I'm a very personable person and can go up to a lot of communities without any reservations. So I think it's time for us to take the approach of going to them instead of waiting for a community to come to us. So that's a little bit why I want to run for APS.
Does anyone have any questions for Tramaine? We'll keep it for like 5 minutes. Any questions anybody has?
Yes. Tramaine, Eric, have you developed some relationship with some of the board members?
Yeah, so I used to work for Kyla. When I was a Denver juvenile pretrial release case manager, Kyla was running the entire program, so I have a pretty good working relationship with Kyla. I've had conversations with Debbie Gherkin, Marcus Ivy. I've spoken to Vicki Reinhardt briefly. I've spoken to Director Mason a lot, so I'm trying to do my due diligence by reaching out and establishing those relationships.
I think they'll be key with filling you in with all of the needs of the district and everything, the strengths, the weaknesses, and so on. So, crucial.
Thank you.
I think Tramaine is doing a great job with his communication and reaching out. Much better than a lot of people who have not run before. It seems like he's a veteran already. He's doing a good job.
And I appreciate those kind words, but it's tough, and I'm finally getting to a point. And if you were at our last House District meeting, me communicating like this wasn't as clear as it is right now, because I feel like I'm a little bit more comfortable speaking about why I want to run. I'm not so hesitant. I'm not too nervous to speak in front of people now, so I'm a little bit more comfortable. But like Ms. Debbie said, I've been putting in work, but I'm not really out here just telling you I want to run and telling you about all these good things I'm doing. But I'm partnering with Crystal Murillo on her campus days to get out into the neighborhood until I have access to them. So really, I want to get out in front of as many community people as possible, because that's who I'm going to be working for. I mean, the endorsements are great, but I want the community to know who's going to be on the board, what we do as a board, and how we need their help in order to make informed decisions.
And we also had a meeting with three of the previous board members.
Yeah.
Jeanette, Jane, and Mary.
Okay, good.
Debbie
And
hosted
both
it here.
Tramaine and Ann were here.
Right.
So it was a good meeting,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
I felt like they left with a lot of knowledge and a lot of historical types of information that a lot of people don't get. So I think they really, I think we set them off on a good path.
And he's working on a meeting with Rico.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's gonna be.
I actually ran into Rico at the APS back to school kickoff at the mall last week. And he actually knew who I was. He approached me and said that Miss Carolyn was trying to set up a meeting and we're just trying to get it set up. I have a nice support system and I'm appreciative so well, so I just want to ensure that I'm being a good whatever for the people that are speaking highly of me behind the scenes. So.
And that definitely doesn't surprise me with him already recognizing you, because he's very political, very, in a good way. So with that being said, I know fundraising can be a challenge, you know, for some candidates or what have you. And I've heard, and even talking with you, you've already on a good start with fundraising. And now there's a Republican challenger, even though, you know, these races are nonpartisan. Once you get in, you find out they are very partisan. With that being said, what can we do to further support you and your success?
And as hard as I hate asking for donations or money, I think that's one of the easiest ways to support because that money can get turned into resources and whatnot that can go out to community. If money or donating isn't an option, signing up to volunteer, to make phone calls or come and walk the neighborhood and get to know the community and let them know about me and about the missions we're trying to push out in the world.
Cool.
Any other questions for Tramaine?
And Tramaine is one of our speakers on Saturday at the Aurora Democratic Forum.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Wish I could be there, but I'll be in Philly.
I think I can come this time for once.
Is that the
Cancel your trip.
is that the Aurora Democratic Breakfast Forum?
Yes, I
Okay.
sent you an
Very
email
good.
on it. Darling, did you get it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, did you read it?
Did I?
He's
Yeah.
like, I will.
Yeah, I want to go. I do want to go. I love that restaurant. It's at the Athenia or whatever.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, Tramaine and Dr. Kiki and Deb Gherkin will be there. Marcus is unable to be there this week, but he'll come in September.
Great. Well, thanks for
Do you want to do a formal plug now that I'm recording you for the
No.
Democratic Breakfast Forum on
The
Saturday?
Democratic Breakfast Forum on Saturday at 8:30 at the Athenian Restaurant with our honorable candidates
Okay.
for school board.
Perfect.
And then, Ruben, we will get to city council.
That's next month.
Yeah, it's all good.
I have something this weekend anyway, so it worked out very well for me.
It's like, I already have it.
Busy man.
Yes, I have plans.
Well, on that
Oh,
note,
Ruben's not invited.
Ruben, if you'd like to say hello to our attendees tonight. I know a lot of them you met last month, but some of them weren't able to be here. So if you want to give an introduction again,
Sure.
and then we'll
Again,
have questions.
my name is Ruben Medina. I'm running for city council in Ward 3, which is right where we are today. And so, you know, I've been part of this community for 28 years. I've lived in my home there in Ward 3. I've had all three of my children graduate from APS schools. My wife is actually a teacher in APS. She's been a teacher for 30 years. She's also an AE rep for her school. She teaches over in Northwest Aurora, Montbell, and Montview Elementary. She's a first grade teacher there. I got involved in this just because I'm passionate about community and passionate about helping my community in any way I can. I currently work doing community engagement and work in Northwest Aurora and Montbell communities currently and helping them to solve a lot of issues. And I thought a lot of that experience would help me transfer over to city to create a more larger platform to work on bigger projects. I'm currently working on a lot of smaller projects concerning, you know, housing, affordable housing, livable wages, looking at ways to create more opportunities, jobs, looking at unions, and also looking at policing in a different way of community-led. And so I want to bring all those experiences together. A lot of these things I've actually done in community, so they're not things I've made up, they're things I've actually implemented. And you know, I've seen good outcomes of those. So I want to make sure that we bring those together and hopefully coalesce and have a majority of us there so that we can make bigger changes for the city. So, and with that, if there's any questions, feel free.
Did you bring a petition in case anyone needed to sign it?
I've got all my petitions done.
They're all turned in.
They're all turned in, and I just got the okay yesterday that they're all legit, so
They all checked out.
officially.
Yeah. It's all in.
Get yours.
You still need signatures, Tramaine.
I mean, I have 70, but I want to get 120.
Did you bring them?
I did not. When you asked the question, I just thought, no, I didn't.
Bring them on Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cause you
I
wanna
also-
shoot.
I have
for-
a
I mean, we only need 50, but I do want to shoot for.
Oh, you wanna shoot for a couple hundred, easy. 'Cause
Is it just to have to make sure it checks out, or just because it's cool to have more?
It
Obviously, I
is
understand
very
the
cool to
concept.
have more.
you wanna make sure it checks out.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Cherry Creek neighboring school district, you'll get a lot of people that live in that district that they don't even.
We had did petition signing day, so if they checked out, then I'm
Then you good.
pretty confident that mine will check out. But
Because they had it pretty organized
Yeah,
that day about
yeah, they
like
did.
where do you live and which petition you sign.
We all went canvassed.
Do you wanna make sure that you got enough signatures?
Yeah.
But that becomes one of your volunteer lists too.
Exactly.
So that you
You're
make sure.
registering your own vote.
Yeah, and if there's a way that you can get a copy of those petitions, I don't know, did you already turn them in?
I did not. I still have them.
Make a copy before you turn them in,
Yes.
so you've got addresses that you can mail stuff to.
Okay.
Yeah, go, yeah, or, those that sign your petitions, you know they're going to vote for you, so keeping in contact with them is a good idea. However you do that.
Yeah, so bring that on Saturday.
Ruben, what can we do to support you?
Well, I think the same thing like Tramaine, it's just, you know, obviously money is always the key. I'm always, you know, soliciting for money. Obviously, I'm gonna be doing a phone bank on Saturday, I mean, not Saturday, Sunday. I'll be doing that for a few hours to kind of solicit from a list that we've got and try to get some more funds, obviously, from that avenue. And then certainly anything anybody else can do personally. If you haven't voted, sent anything currently, I've got the information today to do it today. And, you know, anything helps and any amount helps, so I, you know, appreciate anything that anybody can do. And then certainly again, if you can want to go and walk with us, that's another opportunity as well. So I'll be going out again on Sunday, casing a few neighborhoods as well on Sunday, and so feel free to join.
So you have to be in Ward 3 to sign.
Right.
Correct.
Right. But not with APRs.
Yeah,
he's
It's at large.
Different.
So about Ruben, I have seen tremendous growth from the time that he ran last time to the time that he's run this time. And I just think that he will be a tremendous asset on Aurora City Council and a level-headed thinker that can bring some stability to the council, which we don't have currently. I think he would be tremendous in building some bridges and doing what's best for our ward. He has the people in his heart, and I'm just really happy that he's running for our ward, and I think we will finally have someone who really does care about the ward as opposed to a political game. Ruben's about the people and not about the politics.
Yeah, certainly appreciate the kind words there.
I heard current councilwoman Bursons say that she was having an event and that all candidates for Ward 3 had been invited.
Is that the one that happened last Saturday? I
Did
believe?
it happen last Saturday?
Yes, I was out walking the doors. I was knocking doors at that time. And then by the time I got the information from it, it was already at that point.
Well, I just wondered because one of the things that the Aurora Forum has always done is that we have invited all of these candidates, which might be kind of interesting to do, because it would be interesting to see how Scott, Pastor Scott, or Mr. Scott, or Dr. Scott, or whatever, presents himself. So,
Is that someone else in the race for Ward 3?
Yeah, this is one. John O. Scott, I know of him. I actually know people that go to the church he does. I actually know a couple of pastors that he's connected to as well, and we're personal friends of mine as well. So, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not here to lambash anybody. They do what they got to do, and at the end of the day, it's about my message and what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna worry about what they're gonna do. My thing is to bring my game.
Yeah, I like that.
Are there other like debates set up for that kind of stuff, or I mean, is
Yeah, I
it
believe
helpful
so.
to
I
have-
think Marcia sent me one. I know that they're planning to do, I think on the 28th of September, I believe it is.
That could be
that
the one
one.
that she mentioned the
Yeah,
other
I think they
night.
do it at the library,
I think so.
Yeah.
She mentioned it the other night during city council, which
Yeah.
I was
Is
brave
that
enough,
her?
which I was
Or-
brave enough to watch.
she's the one that sent out the email to invite everybody. So
Okay, so it must be her.
that's why I said it must be.
Is that the Sentinel that does that, or I heard that the Sentinel was
Well,
going to
second ones,
have?
usually they do that, at least the last time I've seen them was at council chambers. I believe they do
Okay.
that one there.
They
So at some point they're
are-
gonna
they are
have that for
in
Ward 3?
They usually do it after the petitions are in and
Yeah,
everybody's settled, so petitions aren't in until the end of August.
But they do it in conjunction with the League of Women Voters usually, so it's a partnership. So the Sentinel staff asks the questions along with someone from the league. So they partner together.
I think it's BPW does it, and the election commission used to participate, but BPW didn't like us, so we don't do it anymore.
BPW, what's that?
Professional business women's,
Oh, is that what it is? I thought it was the League of Women
well, the
Voters.
league has been involved, but I
So
think
now it's
BPW.
the, okay.
It'd be cool if the Democratic Party and the Republican Party could partner up and organize something, like a forum. That'd be cool.
Republicans don't partner.
I'm looking at you, Mandy.
Actually, that would be really interesting. I mean, I'd be glad to call it Arapahoe Republican.
I'm more than happy to have them.
Do you know
Stage.
I
Republicans?
do.
But that would have
I'll
to
get
be,
them.
you know, something
I'll
that
spark.
Kristen and the group would want to do. I mean, if we did it party-wise. But if we did it Ward 3
Ward 3 wise, yeah.
we could bypass the leadership on both sides and
We
do
could
it.
do it in a forum, we can do it in Ward 3, we could do it in Ward 1. Did Crystal get our signatures?
Well, they still need to be verified, but we're all in at this point.
Yeah, they
We're just waiting
are.
on the email.
I'm sorry, I'm so bad, I'm talking over everybody.
Go ahead.
They did that Aurora majority project. And so they turned everything in at the same time. All of the candidates who are running for council and all the candidates who are running for school board on the D side.
Yeah, we got we did signatures the same day. I don't know if everybody turned theirs in.
I took mine, so.
They made a big deal that everybody turned it in. So I made the assumption that everybody turned them in. But, you know,
Yeah.
whether they did or not, there's a deadline, so. Sure.
Yeah, 27.
But Ruben, you like that idea of having a debate organized by the Republican Party and Democratic
Yeah,
Party?
I'm open to talk. I mean, that's the whole principle, right? So you hear both sides. I mean, I'm open to hear what they got to say. And, you know, I felt pretty confident in my answers and my questions around any of the subjects they want to hit is just because I think most of my experiences working in community, I'm already engaged. If I haven't engaged in those conversations prior, you know, I doubt that I haven't hit on too many of those. And I'm pretty confident what I can do and the things that I have done to, you know, to throw that back at them and say, okay, what have you done? I mean, because you know as well as I mean, a lot of it's rhetoric. You know, you're going to always say what you're going to do. I'm going to say from the other end is here's what I've done already in these specific arenas and currently, and I want to work with people today, not wait till November. Why wait? Let's have dialogue. Let's start action today. What's the holdup? Why do I have to wait till then? Why can't we do it now? I'm currently doing it. So what's the holdup on anybody in community and also the opposition and anybody on the other side too? I always say I welcome that conversation. It's just because it's get to know me as a person, not because of a letter. You know, I have a tendency that in communities we do this all the time. We label people, and we can't get off that particular label. You know, it's like the unhoused, right? We label them as you like the mayor did of labeling everybody as drug addicts, every single house person. Well, we know that's not a fact, that doesn't define it, but then we can't get off that stick of that, so the perception is every person we encounter is a crook that's somehow that they want to be there, they don't want to work. We have all these perceptions depending on the individual, and it's not fair to people to generalize people. Like I said, you can do that with me, but you only know a small piece of me. That's one snippet of me. I'm like a diamond, I'm multifaceted. You have to really engage me to understand who I am. And until you have that dialogue, you can't make any assumption. You can do that, I guess, but you're never gonna know who I truly am. You're gonna make assumptions every time, and I'll make people trip on that, because I'll always bring something back to fight that, because I'm not one-sided. I'm not just one piece. You turn me around, you'll see a different piece. And so that's how I want to approach it, because that's how I approach the community. Because if you look at all of us in community, right, we're surrounded by all these things, right? We're surrounded by all the labels. So why is it that we can live with each other in community, but we can't engage in community like people? Let's be civil. Let's figure out what can we work with. To me, it's starting at, like the council. That's always the thing, right? It's like how I've been asked this question numerous times. It's like, how can you get the council to work together, right? Well, it's just, we all have to look at really deep down inside. It's like, what is our purpose? Why are we here? Who do we serve? Who do we actually serve? Is it my agenda, my personal agenda? Because I have one. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't. I have one. But my agenda is not to hurt anybody. My agenda is to say, okay, here's what I can offer. Here are my skills. Here are my experiences. Here's what I can do. What else can people add to enhance that? And what can we do? To me, throw all this stuff on the table. What can we all agree on? What can maybe we can agree on? And where's the crux points? And let's work from this vantage point to do as many projects that we can get done collectively, so that we're serving the majority of the people that have the needs. And I'm a firm believer is that as we go around and get to this crux point, as we work collectively together, eventually we're going to figure out that what we're doing to solve a lot of these problems, it takes all of us to do that. We're all pieces of the puzzle. And we need their piece of the puzzle as much as they think they don't need our piece of the puzzle. To solve most of these problems, it's going to take all of us to do that. And I've seen that, when Moorhead was getting built, they gave us $1 million. That had to go through city council. That passed unanimously. Why? It was totally, every single council member passed it. Because there was something that resonated when they spoke, when the community spoke and talked about what they wanted. That resonated with them. It touched them, and I firmly believe that. If we can touch the core of most people and get to know them better, I want to know them better, so that I have a better understanding of why they think the way they do. And is there ways that we can look at and go, can we change that perspective so that we all get something we want? So that's kind of where I come from. I do this in community all the time. I'm trying to work collectively. Certainly, you're always going to have blowback, and you're always going to have the people that you may never budge. But the thing is, I can at least make the attempt, so that they can never say that I did not try to reach across, that I did not try to help.
Nice.
I want, if that's the blame, then it puts the blame on themselves, because they chose, not me. That I'm going to choose to do what's right by the people that I serve. Because at the end of the day, like I've said, in 4 years, I have an agenda. I have things that I want to get done. If I cannot do those, I don't need permission to be fired. I will fire myself by not going for another term. Because if I didn't fulfill what I said, I'm not worth that. I'm not the person you need. Get somebody else that can do it. Because I'm not going to feed you another 4 years of, well, wait, no, that's not acceptable to me.
Yeah.
I want to hold myself accountable as well. And that's the way I'm going to hold myself accountable to the constituents, so that they know I'm genuine, I'm real, I'm just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I have an agenda, but my agenda is not mine personal. I'm not trying to leapfrog to be mayor or to be state rep or none of that. My job is, like I always encourage, to try not to do any more hurt than they've already had. Just to make it better, so that people can see we can make changes and we can do it as community.
Nice.
So I've got you down as a yes to participate in a debate.
Yeah, well, that's what I said.
Any debate that we put together.
I
and
love
think you'll do
that.
quite well.
I love that arena anyway, just because that's why I like engaging with the people, and as I'm knocking on doors, is because I try to find relationships, ways to connect to people, and get that dialogue going.
Yeah, I think it makes you a great candidate. Which I'm happy you're here, and since we've got a couple of candidates, and Richard, are you are you with Crystal's? Can you speak on her behalf for her campaign?
Yeah, of course, I can speak.
Just because while we have these different campaigns here, I do have some questions just from a strategy perspective of how campaigns and like the Aurora Majority Project will work with the House District, or how we all work together, just to kind of maximize our efforts and to, because we have many precincts that are represented by hardworking PCPs. So, you know, how we leverage what we've already got. And so I'm curious of like how the different campaigns have talked to each other under that umbrella of, you know, if someone's out canvassing, are they canvassing with everyone's lit, or how is it working? What is it looking like? Because as I'm trying to organize all the PCPs, I kind of want to plug them in where they need to go or make sure they have the right materials. And obviously, anytime a PCP is walking their precinct, it'd be great to have all of the information and, you know, be speaking for as many candidates as they can. So if you guys can kind of update me on what that relationship amongst the campaigns is looking like.
So, I mean, so for reference, well, my name's Richard, for those that don't know me. I have been a little out of incognito for HD42 because I was studying for the bar. That's over, and now I am currently working as Crystal Murillo. She's a council member for Ward 1. I'm working as her campaign manager. So the different campaigns, we are sharing a lot of different information with each other. We're working together pretty strongly, I would say, and Ruben can probably talk a little bit about this, at least as it regards City Council. We've only just started like a partnership with the 4 other APS candidates. But as it regards City Council specifically, we will, like we share a field director, and so this person's in charge of like cutting lists for people, for knocking doors. We will all carry each other's literature. So for example, today I was knocking doors on behalf of Crystal. But I also had John Ronquillo and Adam Fung's literature with me as well. And so when I would talk to people, what I would talk to them about was not only Crystal but also the other 2 candidates. And it should be the same in Ward 3 as well. And recently in Ward 2, because now Brian Lindstrom, who he is running for Ward 2, and he's part of that as well, and he's going to be sharing that same field director.
And that's Jessica, that's who you're talking about.
Who's the field director?
His name is Kevin Lee. He was formerly Adam Fung's campaign manager, yes. But now it just seemed like it was a better fit, and we talked about it, and it just seemed like that was more of his forte, because he had done field work beforehand. He had worked nationally on Elizabeth Warren's, I think it was Elizabeth Warren's campaign, and so he had some experience from there. But anyways, we work with him in creating those lists and trying to basically put together a numerical plan in order to win the city council races. I don't know how that's going to look like with Aurora Public Schools because that only recently started, but I believe that those races and our cooperation is going to be incorporated more so to probably to the extent that it is right now among the city council races. And so as regards like precinct, because it's not PCPs anymore, right? It's precinct.
Well, we were just talking about
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, the precinct, the best way for them to get involved as it regards the Aurora Majority Project would for them to, they can talk to any campaign basically, and we can get them connected with the campaign that represents their ward specifically.
Sure.
And then they would be walking, if the precinct person was really committed to like one specific candidate, then I think it'd be okay if they only knocked for that candidate. Ideally, we would want them to knock for the other candidates who are also that would be representing them. So this would include like the other at-large candidates. And basically, they would just knock doors and work with our field director to do that. But they're more than welcome to work with the individual campaigns as well if they have a preference. It's just kind of where we've kind of just tried to push volunteers to,
Yeah.
since it's better resources, better use of
Yeah,
resources.
no, I'm just trying to figure out that relationship because I always bring this up during Omar's campaign, like I walked my own precinct for Omar and then like the next day an Omar volunteer was also walking my street.
Oh.
So great coverage, you know, like 2 days, but I'm also like, that was almost, it just wasn't the greatest, like it was just 2 days in a row, it might have needed to be spread out, you know, maybe a couple of weeks or whatever. So that kind of thing, I'm just trying to be very conscious of how we utilize PCPs, POs, alongside campaigns. And obviously not every precinct has a PCP, but the ones that show up and are here, like they walk and they do the work. And so I'm just trying to create that relationship just so that we're communicating, not that the PCPs don't have to be with any particular campaign, but just so that we're really covering a lot of ground. Tramaine, did you have something to say?
No.
See, I didn't carry for Tramaine. I cannot carry for any city council candidate.
Right, because you were on a specific, you were on the, I forgot.
Commission.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't, okay, well, that's good to know. And also, like, since we are since now we're working also with the APS candidates, like, I mean, and it's more formalized, but even before that, like, Tramaine had come to one of our canvassing events and I just carried literature, then Tramaine, he just gave me some and I just carried literature with him, for him as well, and he carried ours. And so, I mean, it's becoming more formalized, but what we, our kind of biggest, I mean, at least from my perspective, because I'm somewhat new to this, but a lot of the people who were involved in the 2017 and 2019 races just saw what you observed, Mandy, which is basically that there seemed to be like a poor use of resources because things would get repeated, people would carry literature and multiple times where it was already done, and so this is just kind of a way to, I mean, all the candidates are already on more or less on the same page ideologically, and so it would just make sense that we would cooperate. And so,
Well, that's what I love to see because sorry, Carolyn.
How are you determining what precincts and what streets you walk?
that's really up to our field director. So I'm not involved in like the nitty gritty, but they've basically identified like, okay, this is where we need to walk and this is who we're going to knock on doors. We're focusing up until like mid-October, we're focusing on knocking on the doors of people who they've identified as like persuadable. So people who maybe they vote, they're Democrats and they vote like every election year, but maybe they don't vote as often in municipal years. And then once it's mid-October, we're going to start focusing on people who vote Democrat and also vote in municipal elections consistently. And so right now, a lot of us are really engaging in like pretty meaningful conversations with people when we knock on doors because they're truly undecided, or they're somewhat unaware.
Because Tramaine might have a different group that he wants to hit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or
And that's where it can get tricky.
To be honest, I would rather take the approach of knocking on every door, but I know we don't have the manpower to do that. And I know I spoke with Crystal about doing that a couple weeks ago, but it's just tough because as a campaign, we don't have access to the van, so I don't know what. We haven't gotten it yet. It's pretty expensive.
No one will respond to you.
She did, and then the state party got back to us and said that it was $800 regardless of how our race is. I thought it was cheaper, but it wasn't. But now with somebody else hopping in the race, we're gonna have to pay it. Nonetheless.
Did you get it through state party?
I believe whenever we got it, whatever.
Because it's illegal for the county party to provide access to the list to
We
candidates.
paid for it.
Through the state party.
I'm not sure to who, but
Just through the state party, cause I paid for the 800 through the state party.
I think that's what we did too. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's just because we did have great success in last year's election with like the slated literature and getting PCPs to get it out there. And so, and it's not exactly the same, obviously, but if we can somehow where it's like every time we're hitting a door that it's got as many pieces of lit from everybody who's running. I mean, that'd be my preference,
And
obviously.
and we, at least I can only speak because I've only walked through Crystal and Rich, but every time I knock on the door, put literature on the doors for every candidate that's running in the city council race that we support, and then myself, I don't have literature from Ann or Debbie or Marcus to include, but if it was there, I wouldn't mind putting it on the door as well. But I only have mine and the 4 candidates that are running.
Yeah.
5.
So I'm gonna talk to,
Let me
contact
say
Kevin. Okay,
real
go ahead.
quick, about this particular issue. I think it would be essential to where these races are going on, like for example, Ward 1, whoever the PC, or whatever they call them these days, have them to if there's no PCPs in the area, to recruit. Everybody in this house district can recruit PCPs for different districts, or precincts, regardless of what precinct you're actually in. So if you know somebody's willing to do the work, we're not actually saying go campaign, because we know the rules, because I'm on the rules committee, so I understand the rules of the Democratic Party, Arapahoe County Democrats. So anybody can recruit a PCP to galvanize that area and bring awareness to that area, according to the races. You can give them all the candidates, but the whole point of it is whatever precinct that is alongside that Colfax corridor, to give them the necessary information to become what they call them PCPs these days. And I honestly feel that will, whoever their associates are, friends are, that will get a connection with the particular precinct to people to actually want to get involved in the process. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always an open door. And if any of you know people who would like to be a precinct committee person, send them our way, and we will get them signed up.
Fixed up.
Because we have some that have 2, some that have 1, some that have 0. So, of course, if you guys know people that are interested or that you could recruit, that's always
Right, and you
welcome.
can get block workers too, they don't have to be a PCP.
Right.
It might be your next door neighbor who says, yeah, I'd like to help, but I don't wanna be active in the party, but I'll drop literature.
So even if there are the 2 PCPs or there's only 1 and they just don't want that particular role,
Right,
you know, that's what we're supposed to be doing, is building our precincts out, you know, in like a tree. So that there's not just 1 or 2 PCPs, but block captains, all that kind of fun stuff, or just volunteers who are happy to knock doors during campaigns. So yes, that's a great point, that we need to, that's ideally how we build it out, so that it just
And just for the
starts that
record,
work out.
to add on to that, there's not, on the Adams County side, there's no PCPs. There's coordinating or doing anything. I'm the only one. This is my moment to shine.
are you living in Adams County?
No, but I have a Democratic club, I'm chairman of that, so I work with Daphne the Jet, so I'm in that county, in that party, I'm on that side. By me having the Democratic club, being the chairperson, I can work in Arapahoe and Adams County, because the club precepts is to combine that corridor, because it's the same issue on both sides.
Sure.
So there's no, like I said, there's no PCPs on Adams County side. Ms. Laura Goldstein, I work with her. She's the chair lady. She has no problem with anything that I'm doing. Matter of fact, she encourages that, because there's nobody else that's doing the work on the Adams County side, and on the Arapahoe County side, I'm still the only one. So that people have been knowing that for the last year or so. I'm the only one that's doing work in the Colfax corridor for the Democratic Party in that area. I'm the only
We do have active PCPs
So one-
on the Arapahoe County side, on the Colfax.
Arapahoe,
There's several.
represent Arapahoe, that's fine. You do have some, but they're not as active.
I'm a PCP.
Tramaine, Sean broke his
That's good. We need more,
arm
we need more
canvassing
like.
last time. We've got active PCPs
Oh, jeez.
south of Colfax.
Okay,
Ready to
we
hear
do,
that.
but on the Colfax corridor, there's nobody actively doing the work. Nobody. I think Eric can attest to that, because we have meetings about that inside the Business Owners Association, which we call the G7.
Well, I think that the people that are PCPs, they come out when we do canvassing during campaign times. Like, of course, there's always more that we can do in our community, which is something we're gonna talk about that was on the agenda later, of like how we show up on our community outside of canvassing at doors for campaigns. But I just wanna reiterate, because we have people here that are on that Colfax corridor who, when are asked, they show up. Some of, like Karen's in Mexico, but she's in 506. They show up and they work their tails off walking their precinct. So I just want to make sure they get recognized for their work.
But you need,
And
you
David
need,
Ellis.
you need a mission. You need to know what's, you know, you have to have a mission in which you deploy
Agenda.
these individuals.
Right.
Just saying that they're not out there is not a correct assumption.
Correct.
The bottom line is that we need to start taking names, getting addresses, getting phone numbers, and then at the appropriate time we call them up and we say, now it's time to go to work.
Yeah.
You know, PCPs are there for two purposes. One, to energize the enthusiasm for the party in events like this, and secondly, to get out and generate interest in walking precincts to get people to the polls. We're at a distinct disadvantage here in Arapahoe County because we don't have the money that the Republicans are going to throw out. They're going to use racism. They're going to use misogyny. They're going to use the Biden administration effort to try to stop this COVID.